Okay, so this video is a summary of the three questions presented in the assessment for Water Assessment 2 for Marketing Principles, Trading and Exchange. So the first question asks, present the macro environment impacting the business. Now, to use a positive and a negative example, so to kick things off, the positive example I'm using in this instance with um, South South Indian spice is effectively the economic ties with India are quite strong. So India is one of the world's fastest and developing and growing economies, and this is according to the Australian government or Department of Foreign Affairs. Um, so the reason I chose that is because it's on a macro level and it's obviously quite a large economic and political level. So when political and economic ties are good with a country, um, it favors businesses that potentially import or export from that country. So Australia exports in 2024, again in accordance with the Australian government, Department of Foreign Affairs. Australia exported $35.5 billion worth of exports to India, and conversely imported 17.5 billion, and that was in 2024 alone. Not only are economic ties strong, but in February this year, the Australian government have put together what's called a Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement, or KEPA, I think it's the KECA, sorry, is um, the how do you call the abbreviation? Sorry. And it's effectively an agreement that focuses on clean energy, education skills, agriculture, and technology. So, um, yes, it's a very prosperous and favorable relationship with India at the moment. So, a small business, trading in Indian spices and groceries, etc., will be fine in that event. If I were to take a negative aspect now in the macroeconomic um, scenario here for South Indian spice, it would be more around larger institutions or larger companies such as Woolworths and Coles. Um, I guess venturing further into that niche market that South Indian spice, has. One of the key things, one of the fundamental things in the actual case study is that there's a uniqueness there to some of the ingredients that local Indian restaurants look for when they reach out to South Indian spice. So one of the macro things, and obviously you can see from the SWOT analysis that there's quite a large number of Woolies and Coles in the particular area. It would be a bit of a disadvantage, on a macro level if those businesses started then, trying to get more granular into the Indian grocery market. So that's probably the negative macro aspect that I could discuss here. Question 2, we move into which advertising tools we believe the business should use, given the budget, and linking it back to obviously budget and objectives. So in my case study, I've presented a couple of things, but the things I want to discuss, one being, firstly, I've allocated $2,000 for a digital presence. And what I've done with that is I've suggested that Ahmed's wife build a social media package for South Indian Spice. The reason for that is because it is 2025 and social media is so popular at the moment. I don't know what the statistics are in terms of usage, but it's quite high. For a small business, not having a social media presence, I think, is a large disadvantage and something that should be focused on. The fact that it has been successful up till now, even without the usage of social media, is impressive. So with that $2,000 allocation, you can make different types of social media posts, strategies, videos, whether that's the making of jalebi, get jalebi hot. Um, it appeals to a broader market as well, because what I understand and from reading the case study, the existing clientele base at South Indian Spice are loyal customers, somewhat, so to speak. And what we're trying to do is broaden our reach. So the digital presence and the social media package will help significantly. And it helps that his wife is somewhat of a marketing expert, so he has those tools at his disposal. The second advertising mechanism I suggested is to advertise via Google. Now, when I looked at the costs and savings and considerations, I looked at a local paper, the Southeastern Times. However, the options were a full page ad or a business card style um, advertisement spot. So there was no real in between, and quite expensive at $2,000 for an entire page that will just be run through one session. So the good thing about Google Ads is that you can link them to searches. So you could probably attach that to, fresh jalebi or fresh roti, whatever your search may be. So I think they're two of the more uh, meaningful, I guess, and I guess will drive a lot more impact in terms of generating reach. It's also, I guess, in terms of the marketing mix, it focuses on promotion. This is one of the things that has been lacking with Ahmed and his business for some time. Um, the one thing that the third thing I'll mention is the layout of the store as well. I know this isn't really an advertising space, but I have allocated some money there for um, whether it's a visual merchandiser or someone to effectively help um, redesign the store shop layout. This is important because it's been mentioned that the store is cluttered, which isn't good, and obviously you want to build on mental and physical availability. So by revamping the store, I think a lot of people that go and visit will be more inclined to talk and spread word of mouth and to create some sort of a buzz with regards to the new store. Have you seen the new store? Have you seen the new South Spice, South Indian Spice store? It's been refurbed, so to speak. So I think that will drive quite a bit of the P aspect in the marketing mix in terms of promotion, and also building on physical and mental availability. So they're quite important. Question 3, and I know I'm pressing for time here, is how provide an overall, I guess, survey of how the business can improve its position, and having a focus on the 4 Ps. Well, um, we're starting with one of the Ps being product. Is so important, and having that right, as Byron Sharp mentions in his book, having a product right is so important. We're not at that stage to start to um, somewhat accessorize on that business. I think the focus of this business will be roti, fresh roti, and jalebi for the next 12 months. Um, I think the business can be successful because of these products that are unique and often preferred in the marketplace from what feedback has been given, and also the recipe, the particular recipe for jalebi that Ahmed has is and can be taken up quite well. So if he focuses again on the promotion side of the marketing mix, and potentially links with community groups and starts distributing samples of jalebi leading up to the launch, I think that'll be quite a impactful strategy. But overall, I think also with having additional staff and being open those additional hours, and what hours, I've just added, I guess, from when Ahmed would finish his shift till the additional time. But you can always pick those times, whether you need 2 hours in the morning or an additional 3 hours in the afternoon. That can be sorted at a later date. But the importance of being open later will appeal to a broader audience or target market, that after school, post work dinner rush, is something that Palmer has missed out on. So with the marketing plan, he'll be able to extend those trading hours and potentially reach a new market or a new audience, which is really important. So that's my answer to question 3. And given me 10 minutes, I think that's a summary now. So thank you.